Welcome to the dpost.com WVU pregame football chat. I am Todd Murray, joined as always by WVU football writer Ed Owens. And we are at Byrd Stadium in College Park, Maryland, as the Mountaineers prepare to take on Maryland. And Ed, the players and coaches have been hearing a lot about this past season's 37-0 loss against the Terps in Baltimore. I know they really want to make amends for that today.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been hearing a lot about it, and deservedly so. I think that was probably the low watermark of last year. As bad as the Kansas loss was, I think that Maryland loss showed you about as low as this program could sink last season. I don't think it's at the forefront of their minds. I do think that they've outwardly been saying they've moved past it, but in the back of their minds, I think they definitely want to come out and show that this is a different team. They've spent the whole offseason talking about how much they've improved, how much they've progressed. This is really going to be an opportunity to show that against a common opponent from last year's schedule, where they can demonstrate how far they've come.
All right, in today's college football landscape, every game is important. And you look at this game here today, I mean, you go down the schedule, this could very well be the game that determines whether they go to a bowl game this year.
Typically, yeah, we've always said in the past that Maryland was that kind of barometer of how the season would go, and it also really does have a big impact on their bowl chances. If you pardon me from looking at my notes, I mean, if WVU wins today, they're going to need 4 more wins out of potentially 5 games. I don't think that they're going to be able to beat Oklahoma. I don't think they're going to beat Tech on the road. I don't think they're going to beat Baylor, and I don't think they're going to win at Oklahoma State. So, I mean, that gives you 4 games out of 5. Kansas, TCU, Texas, Kansas State, and Iowa State. Right. I don't think it guarantees that they're making a bowl game, but it really takes a lot of the pressure off heading down the stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. And the defense today is going to be facing a Maryland quarterback and C.J. Brown, who can hurt you with his arm and with his feet. What do they need to do to corral this guy today?
I think they want to take a page out of South Florida's book. South Florida kind of got after Brown a little bit. They forced him to make some mistakes. He didn't have a stellar game. I mean, through 2 games, Brown has barely passed for more than 300 yards, which is a very low number. Clint Rickett passed for more against Alabama alone. So I think you need to really be able to contain him. I think if you get to him early, if you can limit what he's able to do on the ground, force him to be a one-dimensional quarterback, that's really going to be a key for them. Obviously, it's also going to come down to the secondary, blanketing those receivers and allowing WVU to get the pass rush against Brown. But I think if they can get some pressure on him early, they can force him into making some bad decisions, just like South Florida did, and the Bulls had a chance to win that game late.
All right. The forecast today is calling for rain here in College Park. Could have an effect on both teams' running games. How important is it going to be for WVU with Russell Shell and Wendell Smallwood and Andrew Bowie to try to get things going?
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen 2 very different run games out of WVU so far. We saw a completely non-existent ground attack against Alabama, and then they ran the ball very effectively last week against Towson. I think they'd like to see something somewhere in the middle against a team like Maryland. I think they have the opportunity to do it. Shell has really demonstrated that he's got this offense down at this point, which is very good to see. Wendell Smallwood, they've talked about his versatility. They said last week that they wanted to get him some more touches. And Andrew Bowie, I know we talked about it in the midweek report, but Bowie really kind of had a breakout game. He was buried on that depth chart, came in and made the most of his opportunities. I think WVU's backs are kind of primed, ready to go for this. And if the weather turns nasty, they might really need them today.
All right, we'll see how it all plays out. Ed, as always, thank you for your time, and please continue to follow our WVU football coverage on the dpost.com.